Good morning. This is Tara Sewell, internal wholesaler. Thank you for joining us today for our America 250 drawing with guest speakers from MassMutual. Your phones are muted for sound quality. Please reach out to your internal wholesaler after the call if you have questions or comments. I want to take a moment just to say thank you. Thank you for your business. It is a privilege to partner with professionals like you who positively impact families and strengthen your communities. Thank you for your continued business and your partnership. Congratulations to our March Madness winners. This summer, we celebrated America's 250th birthday with a special promotion and a special prize. In addition to your normal compensation, you had the opportunity to earn up to $50 per paid policy between April 1st and August 2nd. Each application submitted and paid also earned tickets for our drawing today, and they're in the hat shuffling. Today, we'll be giving away one 24-karat gold layered framed Declaration of Independence plaque. 4 runners up will each receive a $50 Amazon gift card. Before we get to our drawing, I am pleased to welcome Jennifer Therian and Scott Safranek with MassMutual. Today's presentation will highlight how MassMutual's mutual structure, financial strength, and long-term business strategy are designed to create value. Jennifer and Scott?
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Safranek. I'm with MassMutual, Managing Director of the Midwest region. Hey, today I want to spend about 20 minutes on a topic that's pretty easily to overlook because it sounds corporate, but it's very practical for conversations we have with advisors and policy owners. That's how MassMutual creates long-term value for participating whole life policyholders. Now, the key idea is simple. MassMutual is a mutual company, and our business decisions are guided by the long-term interests of our members and participating policyholders. That structure matters. It influences how we invest, how we manage risk, and how we build businesses, and also how we think about dividends. So what I'll do is we'll walk through this and why the mutual structure matters, how policyholder dividends work, why strategic businesses and investments are such an important part of our story, and also how this shows up in our 2026 dividend schedule. Now, my goal is not for you to memorize everything I say here, or every transaction, or every statistic I mention. My goal really is for you to leave with a clean way to explain why MassMutual's long-term business model can create durable value for whole life policy holders. What we want advisors to remember. Now, here's the framing I would use with advisors. The story is not just MassMutual has a strong dividend. While that's true, but it's not enough. The stronger story is fourfold. First, MassMutual is a mutual company, which means the company's long-term interests are aligned with members and participating policyholders. Second, dividends aren't magic. They come from experience, investment results, mortality, and expenses. And MassMutual has a long history of managing those areas prudently. Matter of fact, 158 consecutive years of paying a dividend. Third, MassMutual has built and acquired strategic businesses and investments over time. These businesses can generate earnings that strengthen surplus, support dividends, and create capacity for future opportunities. And finally, the 2026 dividend schedule gives advisors a current tangible proof point at a record estimated payout and a 6.6 dividend interest rate. Now, a good advisor positioning line is just this. MassMutual is not trying to win the 1 year, what I affectionately call illustration beauty contest. MassMutual is trying to create durable, long-term value for policyholders. Why the mutual structure matters. Just kind of going through this a little bit. This is where I would slow down and make the conceptual practical. Now, when advisors hear mutual company, it can kind of sound a little bit corporate, kind of like a corporate history lesson, but it's directly relevant to product positioning. MassMutual operates primarily for the benefit of its members and participating policyholders. What that does is allows the company to take a long-term business approach. That matters because whole life insurance is not a short-term product. It's built to be owned for decades, sometimes across generations. Now, a stock company can certainly be strong and well run, and I've worked for multiple stock companies over my career, but a mutual company has a different alignment. There are no outside shareholders expecting a dividend or short-term earnings management. The policyholder value story is closer to the center of the company's purpose. For advisors, the point is not to overcomplicate it. I think the client-friendly explanation is MassMutual is structured to think long-term because the people it ultimately serves are the policyholders. That structure provides the foundation for the dividend story, the investment story, and the financial strength story. So how do participating whole life dividends work? We're not going to dive too deep into this, but it's pretty simple. Let's talk about it kind of in a consumer friendly way. Participating whole life dividends are made up of three components: investment results, mortality experience, and expense experience. Investment results are usually the largest component in the later years of a policy. This reflects the company's investment performance relative to the guaranteed assumptions in the policy. Mortality experience reflects death claims. If actual death claims are better than what was conservatively assumed when pricing the policy, that can contribute in a positive way. Expense experience reflects the cost of issuing and administering policies. It's the if actual expenses are lower than assumed, that can also contribute. So the compliant point is this: dividends aren't guaranteed. And the dividend interest rate is not the policy's actual rate of return. It's a factor used to determine the investment component of the dividend. So just kind of thinking about this and just putting it into, I don't know, more of a friendly explanation. Think of the dividend interest rate as an ingredient in the recipe, not the final meal. It helps determine the investment portion of the dividend, but it is not what the policy earns. The policy's actual performance is measured by its cash values and internal rate of return, which reflect all policy charges, guarantees, dividends, mortality, and expenses. Now, getting into the strategic business and investments. Most insurance companies, as we all know, invest primarily in conservative assets, especially investment-grade bonds and commercial mortgages. MassMutual does that too. But the distinctive part of the story is that MassMutual has also built and acquired strategically aligned businesses over many years. These businesses include institutional solutions, non-participating insurance, annuity operations, ownership interests in global asset management companies, and other strategic investments. The reason this matters is diversification. Instead of relying only on traditional insurance company spread income, MassMutual has businesses and investments that can generate earnings across many different environments. Now, those earnings can strengthen surplus, support long-term growth, potentially contribute to the dividend framework for eligible participating policyholders. I think the friendly line is this: I think MassMutual strategic businesses are not a side story. They are part of how the company creates financial flexibility and long-term value for policyholders. Talking about distributable other business earnings. The phrase distributable business earnings can sound technical, so here's the plain English version of it. These are earnings from strategic businesses and investments that can be used in several ways. They can be retained as surplus, distributed to eligible participating policyholders as dividends, or used to fuel additional growth. Now that flexibility is pretty darn powerful. First, it has helped support a highly competitive dividend interest rate over time. As a matter of fact, MassMutual has been the industry-leading dividend for the last 20 consecutive years. Secondly, it's strengthened MassMutual's financial position by helping grow capital and surplus. And third, it gives the company capacity to pursue future opportunities that can serve policy owners for many decades. And for advisors, for you all, the takeaway is not that every dollar automatically goes to dividends. The takeaway is that MassMutual's diversified earnings model creates financial strength and optionality. And that is valuable in a business where promises can last for generations. So taking a look at the 2026 dividend schedule, this is a slide you'll likely remember the most because it gives the numbers to anchor the conversation. For 2026, MassMutual announced an estimated $2.9 billion dividend payout to eligible participating policyholders. That is the largest payout in company history. The dividend interest rate increased to 6.6. Again, it's important to say this correctly. The dividend interest rate is used to determine investment component of dividends. It's not the rate of return. So think about it this way. For example, the dividend is 6.6 and the policy's guaranteed interest rate is 3.75. The investment component of the dividend is based on the difference, 2.85%, not the full 6.6%. So again, at MassMutual, this marks the 158th consecutive year paying a dividend to eligible policyholders. And we can frame it kind of like this. This is not a headline number. It's a result of disciplined insurance operations, prudent investing, strategic diversification, and long-term mutual company mindset. That, I believe, is the real differentiator. The evolution of strategic business investing, just kind of going through the various years. And this is not meant to be a history quiz, and it's not meant to show, it's meant to show intentionality. Over time, MassMutual has reshaped its portfolio of businesses and investments. So in 2016, asset management subsidiaries were consolidated under the Barings name. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. In 2018, MassMutual sold a large stake in MassMutual Japan to Nippon Life. In 2019, Oppenheimer funds were sold to Invesco in exchange for ownership interests. And in 2020, MassMutual increased its ownership in Rothesay and sold the retirement plan business to Empower. In 2021, MassMutual acquired what became MassMutual Ascend. In 2022, the company completed the sale of Nippon Wealth Life and launched Martello Re with financial backing from MassMutual and other investors. Here's the point. It's not just that transactions happen. The point is the business portfolio evolved to support diversifications, earnings, capital strength, and long-term flexibility. Let's talk about a little bit of a talk track. So when advisors ask me, how do I actually use this? I'd keep the talk track pretty simple. Obviously, start with the client outcome. Whole life is often, as we all know, purchased to protect a family, a business, liquidity, or leave a legacy. That means the company behind the policy matters. Multiple decades. Explain the engine. Dividends reflect investment, mortality, and expense experience. Next, connect the strategic earnings story. MassMutual strategic businesses and investments are part of how the company builds financial strength and creates flexibility through changing economic cycles. Then add the current proof point. The 2026 dividend schedule is 6.6. Also, we can give you a 100-year historical look back on what the dividends were in previous years. So let's say, I mean, I'll say this, finally stay compliant. Dividends are not guaranteed, and the dividend interest rate is not the policy rate of return. But in whole life is guaranteed to go up every single year. The only question is by how much. And MassMutual structure. So talking about this, whole life is a long-term product. MassMutual structure and diversified earnings model are designed for that same long-term horizon. And let me close with this. Let me close with a message I'd want every advisor to be able to repeat. Whole life insurance is a long-term promise. If a client is going to hold a policy for decades, the company behind the policy deserves real attention. MassMutual's difference is built on 4 ideas: mutual alignment, disciplined insurance operations, strategic businesses and investments, and current proof points like the 2026 dividend schedule. The value story is not simply that MassMutual has paid dividends for a long time, although that history is pretty meaningful. The bigger story is how the company is structured, how it manages its businesses, and how it uses diversified strategic investments to help create durable long-term policyholder value. So the closing line I want to leave you all with this is, if the client is buying a promise measured in decades, the company behind that promise matters. That's where MassMutual's mutual structure, financial strength, and strategic business model become more than corporate talking points. They become part of the client value proposition. And with that, I appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Scott, for explaining that long-term promise. And I like the way you said that. It is a long-term promise. And what we do is we help strengthen the advisor's value as well. So thank you, Scott and Jennifer, for joining us. Now, your internal wholesaler is also here to help you add value and to serve your clients. One way we support you is through field underwriting. We welcome your calls regarding your client's health, and you can also email us to request health questionnaires. But you can also find these questionnaires on our website, fmiAgent.com. Once you are logged in, you will hover over Agent Tools, then select Underwriting Guides. Under the Carrier Guides, select Underwriting Guides, and this will bring up our multi-carrier guide. Each carrier logo or name links you to the guide for that carrier. There you will find build charts, financial underwriting guidelines, medical underwriting, foreign travel income factors, and more. If your client has a health history, you can find underwriting insights and health questionnaires under the NAILBA underwriting guide. So again, advisor tools, underwriting guides, then under the general underwriting reference, click on underwriting guide. Now, this is a fairly large document, 265 pages to be exact. It's divided into 2 sections. That first section shows you underwriting insights, key underwriting issues, and health questions. The second half of the document is that 1-page questionnaire that you can fill out while you're sitting with your client or on the phone. Again, these are available to you through your internal wholesaler, or you can find them on our website, fmiAgent.com. Now, let's get to our drawing. Today, our hat is pretty full. We have 11,442 tickets. Let's draw our first two finalists, and I'll bring up our hat here. And it has been shuffling. We'll give it one last shuffle. And Neil Sperling, our Vice President of Financial Markets, is going to help me verify who is on the call. Remember, you do have to be on the call when I draw your name to be a finalist. Let's drop those tickets in the hat and draw our first finalist. Bill Pond with 141 tickets in the hat. Is Bill on the call?
Looking through the list here. And Bill is not on the call.
All right, you do have to be on the call to be a finalist. Let's draw our next name. Scott Monin with 558 tickets. Is Scott on the call today?
Sarah, Scott is not on the call.
Okay, we're looking for our first finalist. Let's draw again. Archie Diacono, 195 tickets. Is Art on the call today?
We're striking out. Art is not on the call.
Well, this isn't baseball, so we're not out yet. We're still
right.
looking for our first finalist. Christopher Harrell with 379 tickets. Is Christopher on the call?
Christopher is on the call.
Congratulations, Christopher. You are our first finalist. And let's look for our second. And Scott Monin, he was not on the call, so we're going to draw again. Donna Zaranska, 310 tickets. Is Donna on the call?
Donna is not on the call.
Okay, we are still looking for our second finalist. Kirby Bowden, 187 tickets. Is Kirby on the call?
Kirby is not on the call.
Okay, here we go. And drawn again. Lisa Ware, 309 tickets. Lisa on the call?
Lisa is not on the call.
All right. So far, we have one finalist, Christopher Harrell. We're looking for our second finalist. And I draw Scott Monin again, so we're going to continue to draw. Russ Lane, 100 tickets. Russ on the call?
Russ is not on the call.
Okay. We'll draw again. Greg Malin, 344 tickets. Our second finalist.
He's our second finalist.
All right, congratulations, Greg. You are our second finalist. Here at Financial Markets, we love e-applications. E-apps help ensure applications are complete and submitted in good order. They reduce delays and they save time. Life insurance applications are submitted through iPipeline on our website, fmiAgent.com. Annuity e-apps are fairly new to us this year, and we added Firelight. So annuity e-apps are now available through Firelight. In this past quarter, we had 63% of your applications come through as e-applications on the life side and annuity side combined. So thank you. Now, if you are not currently submitting e-apps, contact your internal wholesaler. We would love to help you learn more about submitting e-applications. Let's draw our next two finalists. We have two finalists so far, Christopher Harrell and Gregory Malin. I'm looking for number 3. Brooks Fleetwood with 389 tickets. Is Brooks on the call?
Brooks is on the call.
All right, congratulations, Brooks. You are our third finalist. And we're looking for number 4. Jennifer Schultz, 117 tickets. Is Jen on the
We have a
call?
couple of Jens, but not this one.
Not Jennifer Schultz. Okay, we're going to draw again. We're looking for our fourth finalist, Katie Johnston, 632 tickets. Is Katie on the call?
Katie is not on the call.
Okay, looking for our fourth finalist, Jeff Partridge, 181 tickets. Do we have a fourth finalist?
We do not.
Okay, we will keep drawing. Scott Monin. We know
checked
he's,
him earlier.
we checked him earlier. Let's take a look. Bradley Olschlager, 618 tickets. Is Brad on the call?
Bradley is on the call.
All right. Congratulations, Bradley. You are our fourth finalist. And we're talking about a lot of great tools on fmiAgent.com. Annuity Rate Watch is another great tool. The current annuity rates are available to you at your fingertips. On the website, once you're logged in, you will hover over Advisor Tools, then Quotes, then you will click on Annuity Rate Watch. Under MYGA, you will select MYGA Product List. You then have the option to enter your state, the expected premium, your client's age, and the guarantee period, and search. This slide is showing a 6-year surrender, and as you can see, American National is offering a 5% first-year bonus on their Palladium MYG. Mark your calendars. Our next giveaway will be on Thursday, October 8th, and qualification has already begun. So any business you've submitted since August 3rd is earning you tickets, and all business submitted and paid between August 3rd and October 2nd will qualify you for our next giveaway. Watch your inbox for more details on the fall giveaway. And now let's draw our fifth finalist. Pull my hat up here. So we have Christopher Harrell, Gregory Malin, Brooks Fleetwood, and Bradley Olschlager. We're looking for our fifth finalist. Corey Madrid, 18 tickets. Is Corey on today's call?
Let's take a look here. Corey is not on the call.
Okay, let's draw again. Looking for our fifth finalist. Cliff Cross, 362 tickets. Is Cliff on the call?
Cliff is on the call.
Congratulations, Cliff, for being our fifth finalist. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Neil Sperling to tell us a little bit more about our FMI Agent Points Award.
Well, thank you, Tara, and thank you, Scott, for the presentation regarding the dividend structure there at MassMutual. What a great company to be writing your participating whole life insurance products with there. And good luck to all of those in the drawing for the finalists here. Just to share with you, with as little as 1.2 million of annuity premium or 90,000 of long-term care and disability income premium, or just 36,000 of life premium, or any combination of those, you and a guest could be on your way to the next amazing FMI Agent Point Awards trip. Join us for a 6-night cruise aboard the magnificent and massive Oasis class cruise ship Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas. We'll depart from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Sunday, May 9th, making stops at Coco Cay, Bahamas, Jamaica, and Labadee, Haiti. View full details, including points per product, at fmiAgent.com/2026 FMI Agent Awards. We look forward to helping you throughout this year to get you qualified. Good luck to our finalists.
Oh, I've got us shuffled here. Again, our finalists are shuffling. We're going to drop those in our hat and draw our winner for the 24-karat gold-plated Declaration of Independence. Bradley Olschlager, congratulations for winning the 24-karat gold-layered framed Declaration of Independence plaque. And congratulations to our runners-up. Thank you for spending time with us today, and thank you for your business. We are honored to share this journey with you. From the team at Financial Markets, have a beautiful day.